Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. P, a board certified OBGYN, and today we're talking about how much is a healthy weight to gain during pregnancy. By the end of this video, you'll understand what impacts weight gain during pregnancy, you'll understand BMI and why we use this index to guide us in our decision making. We'll also talk about how much weight is recommended for you based on your BMI. And lastly, I'll give you tips as far as gaining weight healthily in pregnancy, how to do it, and what things to avoid. So let's talk about it. We are planning for pregnancy, or we're currently in pregnancy, and we want to know how much weight is okay to gain. There are so many different factors that helps to play a part here. What we do know is that gaining weight is super important for sustaining a pregnancy, helping the development of a child, as well as allowing your body to go through these transitions all the way to postpartum status. And so we want to do this safely. And so weight gain is extremely important for this to happen. Now, not all of the weight gain that comes with pregnancy actually equals weight gain on your body, like permanent weight changes. Weight gain includes the fluid that is going to your baby, all the blood flow. Your body actually increases the amount of blood that you carry in your body in order to sustain the growing pregnancy. It includes the fluid that is also in your body supporting your electrolytes and the changes that happens internally in order to help all the right nutrients pass through the placenta to go to your baby. It includes the baby, the amniotic fluid, the placenta, the growing uterus. The uterus typically is the size of your fist. And imagine your uterus grows to hold and house an entire little mini human being. And so it grows tremendously. And with that increases the blood flow in that area as well. So there's a lot happening that equals the weight gain that you may notice. We will talk about exactly how much you should gain during pregnancy. Now, anything above the numbers that I'll share with you will equal actual weight gain to your physical body. This means fat cells that have now been created on your body. And once we create fat cells, there is no way to get rid of them. What happens with fat cells typically is that we can shrink them, and yes, that equals losing weight on the scale. But once we've gained a fat cell, they are ours permanently unless we remove them with like liposuction or something like that. But fat cells remain as a part of us. And so after a certain degree of weight gain, we may cause our bodies to gain more fat cells, and postpartum, this becomes a little bit more complicated to lose or for us to lose weight. And so let's talk about what those numbers look like. We know that weight gain is important to support the baby. We've established that. We know that each person pre-pregnancy are not the same weight. We can have two people at 5 feet 5 inches tall, and their weight composition could be completely different compared to others. And so the way that we try to level this playing field a bit from person to person is by the body mass index, or BMI. The BMI is a calculator that helps to let us know whether or not our weight is in a healthy range for our height. These two factors together are important to help guide us as far as where we stand when it comes to weight. The way you calculate your BMI is by taking your body weight in kilograms and dividing that by your height in meters squared. The easy way to do this is to search for a calculator online and input your information for male, female, your height, put in all the details, and the calculator will give you a number. Now that number is consistent across the board. It doesn't matter if you're in Japan, if you're in the Caribbean, or the United States. That number is pretty standard as far as what we recommend when it comes to weight gain in pregnancy. So let's talk about these categories. The first category is a BMI under 18.5. If your BMI is under 18.5, you're considered to be underweight. A normal weight has a BMI between 18.6 and 24.9. This is a range where we want most people to be. This is what is considered healthy pre-pregnancy. This is a good target range for you. Between 25 and 29.9 is an overweight range. 30 and above gives you the diagnosis of obesity. Now, when it comes to pregnancy, there are specific recommendations depending on if you're underweight, normal weight, or overweight. For anyone underweight, we encourage a weight gain between 28 and 40 pounds. That's throughout the entire pregnancy. That is considered to be a normal and healthy weight gain for someone with a BMI under 18.5. If you are in a normal weight range, that is between a BMI of 18.5 to 24.9, we recommend a weight gain between 25 pounds and 35 pounds throughout the entire pregnancy. If your BMI is in the range of overweight or obesity, we recommend no more than 11 to 20 pounds of weight gain during the entire pregnancy. This is just a guideline. We know that the BMI is not the most perfect index there is, but we also know that there isn't another better alternative that's easily accessible and accurate to let us know exactly whether or not our weight is healthy or not. So we use what we have. We know that if you're an athlete, this is even less accurate than for the average person. But in general, the BMI gives us a good range to know if you're healthy, less healthy, either way, and can guide us as far as making changes to improve our overall health status. So when we take a look at pregnancy and we say, well, this is a large range that we're talking about, okay, gain 25 to 35 pounds in pregnancy, we want most of that weight gain to be on the back end. We want as less or the least amount of weight change during your first trimester. In general, we want you to gain no more than 4.5 to 5 pounds during your first trimester. And in fact, most people, because of morning sickness, may actually lose weight during the first trimester, but we overall would recommend no more than 5 pounds at that time. During the second and third trimesters, we expect that weight gain to pick up tremendously. And so with that, we recommend just about 1 pound in weight gain per week all the way through second trimester and third trimester. So that would equal roughly about 25 to 30 pounds. This is for someone with a normal starting weight range. Again, if we are obese, for instance, with a BMI greater than 30, this number will drop significantly. We may want to gain no more than 0.5 pound or less each week during pregnancy. So those adjustments would be made depending on where you started. It is so important that you have really deep conversations with your OBGYN about what your weight gain has been during pregnancy, as well as how to make adjustments so that you're not gaining excessive amount of weight during your pregnancy. I must say that I find that the more weight we gain during pregnancy, the harder it is to lose weight post-pregnancy. We tend to not achieve our pre-pregnancy weight whenever we gain an excessive amount during pregnancy. Excessive weight gain in pregnancy may also lead to other underlying conditions that can happen, such as gestational hypertension, gestational diabetes. We may have complications in pregnancy, such as having a risk for a cesarean section or even the risk of a shoulder dystocia. These are real things that can happen, and we want to minimize the amount of weight gain so we can minimize those risks. So what can you do to help to mitigate these risks? Well, we want to make sure that we're moving during pregnancy as much as we can. By moving, I mean physically moving, but exercising where you can. Sometimes even just walking during pregnancy, walking a few miles per day, is enough to keep our metabolism going and balance off the things and the calories that we're eating versus the amount of calories we're burning. Now, one thing that I tell all my patients, at least the pregnant ones, is that we are not eating for two people during pregnancy. I feel like that's a misconception that I don't know where it started from, but we think that we're eating for two people, and we are not. We really want to focus on increasing our caloric intake per day only by about 150 to 200 calories in the first trimester, and we increase that to about 350 to 400 calories per day in the second and third trimesters. So this does not equal doubling our caloric intake, because again, anything in excess will cause our bodies to gain new fat cells, which become a part of us permanently. And so we don't want that to happen. So we want to eat, but increase our caloric intake minimally. It's also important that as you're eating your meals, that you focus on keeping a healthy, balanced meal. Don't overindulge on the sweets and the ice cream and the cakes or whatever might be really super tasty for you based on your cravings. You want to limit that as much as possible. Have whole foods and fruits, have lean meats, eat your grains, and keep your nutrition as balanced as possible. This will ensure that your weight gain is appropriate and healthy and safe and best for your baby. I hope this has all been helpful for you. Listen, I have a free gift I'd like to offer you today. I'd like to send you a free copy of my ebook, Hormones Don't Lie. We're hormonal people. Pregnancy includes a lot of hormonal changes. We have a lot of hormonal things that goes on during these processes, and I'd like to send you this guide to help you along the way. It will share with you information about your hormones and movement and exercise and things that you can do to help to balance your body better. Thank you so much for listening in today. It's been a pleasure. I'm Dr. P again, and I'll see you next time.